Hey, it's Joe. I got a question here from Richard. Richard says, I guess my question would be, how good are the list sites like ListSource? ListSource has a lot of leads. They're expensive, but they're good. If you go out there and get, all the absentee owners, for example, on ListSource, and you send snail mail to those people, those can be very profitable. Or you could have a virtual assistant, take that list and look up all their phone numbers, and then, do a phone blast or a voice or a text blast to them. Now, be careful that you're not breaking any rules about, spamming people, and make sure make sure you're covering your bases and you're following your local rules on that stuff. I think that the way we're doing it for sale by owners is the best way. It's the easiest way. It's the least the way that's least fraught with difficulties and problems. By sending out spam, because we're not doing spam. What we're doing is we're contacting people who have their homes for sale, saying we'd like to buy their homes. So we're answering them in the exact way that they've advertised, and that brings us in a lot of leads that are a valid source of doing it. So stick with those types of leads, in my opinion, unless you're going to be using the other zero down structures, and then you want to start doing mailings. But if you start doing mailings, snail mail is going to cost you $10 to $20 a lead when you do that, whether it's the postcards or the snail mails, and those are good leads, and you can, if you're good at this, you can convert them. But if you're just getting started, you want to have as many leads as possible so that you can learn how to convert them. And then once you do that, you realize, hey, I don't have to spend $10 for a lead. I can spend 6 cents for a lead. I can spend 70 cents for a lead. Typically, our leads are coming in, they're costing 7, 8 cents a piece, but 8 or 10 out of those, or 2 out of 10 of those are no, or 8 out of 10 of those are no's. So 2 out of 10 are yeses or maybes. So you're spending 70 or 80 cents or a dollar for 2 leads. So that's what, 50 cents a lead. Compared to $10 a lead, I'll take it. It's a pretty good deal. So they make a lot of sense to use the auto marketer leads instead of these other sources where you buy 500 leads and they're costing you 50 cents a lead. That's just the lead. Then you got to mail them, and then you're only going to get 3 to 8% response if you have a really good expired or absentee owner letter that you're sending out. You're going to get leads that are going to come out after that. Seems everyone's using listing companies to gain leads that are motivated sellers, such as expireds and inheritance and probates. Your thoughts? This is mainly geared towards wholesale deals. If you're looking for wholesale deals, these $10 a piece leads, $20 a piece leads, they can make sense if that's all you're looking for. But you can do a lot more deals. I think I mentioned on one of my previous videos that for every 100 deals that you get for the For Rent method or for any of these other zero down structures I'm teaching, you're going to get one deal that's a wholesale deal. Wholesale deals can be great and they're wonderful, but this is the old thing. If all you got is a hammer, everything looks like a nail. So learn the other techniques. Learn how to engineer a deal that makes sense in a lot of different ways, and you won't have to just wait around for that one deal to come around and spend thousands of dollars on mailings to finally get a deal that you're able to make. Maybe you spent $2,000 in mailings to get a deal, and it finally made you $5,000, or maybe it made you $10,000 or $20,000. But you have to do that once every 3, 4, 5 months. Instead, I'd rather spend $1 or $5 to get enough leads where I can convert and do a zero down deal where I can actually take over a property that might have $20,000 of equity or $50,000 of equity, or at the minimum I flip it and do a lease option deal and make $5,000 or maybe make $10,000 in cash in my pocket right then and there, and I do that 2, 3, 4, 5 times a month. That's going to be a lot easier than doing one wholesale every 6 months. And doing a rehab and those types of things, the traditional techniques that are being used that are so much more risky than what I'm teaching here. Anyway, I hope that helps. Good luck.